Hello. Hi, I'm Debora Bernagozzi, co-founder and executive director of Signal Culture, and this is our current artist in residence, Luciano Rodríguez Arredondo. I apologize for my Spanish accent.
It's not a problem. Thanks a lot, Deborah, for having me. It's been a great pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, it's been wonderful having you. So tell folks a little bit about yourself to start.
Okay, I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I have a formation in music and video. I studied cinema when I was in my bachelor's degree. Then I went on to music, and somehow music brought me to programming and then to experimental new media. I was studying in classical music.
Interesting.
So it was a weird place to start, but as time goes by, I always was in love with computers since I was a children. I had the fortune to have a computer in my house, and when I was very young, like 16, and it had internet, so it was a great privilege to have.
Yeah.
And then I started to mess up with software, and I think that is how it began. And then I started to experimenting with some media. I was taught some media theory, and then I continue my journey through various softwares and hardware.
Yeah, great. And this is your second time with Signal Culture.
Yeah, it's my second time. First time it was before pandemic, 2019.
Mhm.
I was checking my files. So yeah, it was pretty funny because it was my birthday. I had my birthday at Signal Culture in 2019. I was very, very happy to be there.
Yes.
And I played a lot that day. I remember I was like, oh, this is the best birthday ever.
That's great.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about what you did at your first residency, and then tell us a little about what you've been working on this week?
Sure. On my first residency, I wasn't very familiar with analog video, like video generators and wobulators and stuff. I have read about them, but I never had my hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty amazing for me the first time because I fell in love with the horn, fell in love with the wobulator, with the raster. And I was like, I'm pretty attracted to patterns and to these psychedelic figures.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend hours and hours doing that kind of stuff. And primarily, I was experimenting with patterns and with the horn and mixing a lot with the colorizer, getting used to the signal flow. And 5 days went like very, very fast.
Yes.
So at the end, I was with a lot of information that I now, in my second visit here, it was so much easier to get into the mood because I'm used to patch audio, like analog synths,
Mm-hmm.
but video, it's not that different, but tends to confuse us a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, the first time it took me like maybe one full day to get a hold on the whole system.
Uh-huh.
Get a hold, I mean,
Right,
not
right.
that.
I'm going to just shut this door.
Sure.
We're live streaming, so I'm just going to shut this.
And then now in this visit, it was pretty fast for me. I mean, in one afternoon, I was like recalling all of this, and then I had the opportunity to go deeper into the patching stuff. So it was pretty cool for me. I just loving it, man. It's great. I had a hard time to decide when to stop. Like,
Right.
should I stop now or another half an hour? But I always say I want to do half an hour, and then it's 2 more hours.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been keeping some late nights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it's I'm gonna tweak this a little bit, and what happens if I just switch this cable here, and then if I move a knob just a little bit. But for me now, last time one thing I didn't do was to refit the analog system into the digital.
Mm.
That was new for me this,
Well,
this
this,
occasion.
yeah, so this table that we have here is a new part of our system thanks to generous donation by Alan Powell. And so it has two older Mac Minis that we're using as up converters along with the Sony analog to digital converter, and then two newer Mac Minis that have the Signal Culture apps on them, and one of them also has the Adobe Suite. Something that most people haven't seen is an is an HDMI patch bay, and it's actually really great. It's very solid, very easy to patch. The things that say inputs and outputs are kind of a lie because it can go both directions, but where we mostly use them.
Yeah, it gives you a very clear idea of, because I haven't patched the HDMI. This is my first patching HDMI, but it was pretty easy. Yeah. I mean, the labels are just so clear.
Yeah, great. And then we have this HDMI mixer and a really nice Blackmagic recorder. So why don't you talk about the patch that you've got up right now? So where does it originate? Okay,
it's difficult to say where it starts. I'm starting with some patterns in the Hearn.
Okay, so let's walk over here.
Before we move on, so you don't have to come all the way back.
Yeah.
Here I'm sending some media that I previously mashed in Signal Culture apps. Uh-huh. So this is previously mashed signal that came out from the, don't remember if it was the wobulator or what I destroyed there.
Okay, great. So you've got something you recorded earlier this week as your source.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come around to the herd.
Yeah.
And so that is going from some magic happening behind the scenes
up to
here. So then we have the down converter coming from the digital system, and then going into
distribution amp or
time-based corrector.
Yeah. And then
which is going into the Hearn Video Lab, which is here. And the Hearn Video Lab was a commercially available video synthesizer that kind of works like an electronics toolkit kind of thing. And so we have inputs here that can be mixed up to 6 different combinations of outputs. There's a pattern generator, a colorizer, and some control voltage stuff. So I see that you've got the pattern generator going.
Yeah, and one thing I love about the Hearn is that it uses banana plugs. Uh-huh. So you can just pile up some of them and make a new signal.
Yeah, so banana cables look like this. And so you got the spring here instead of in the jack. And then you can actually piggyback banana cables. So that's a fun feature of them.
And that will make the signal even more complex, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's doing a blend of the two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did some sorcery here with the... I like a lot to just sit and watch and just pinpointing to see what here it does this, here it does that. Mm-hmm. So
exactly,
I'm playing like that a lot of the time.
Yeah, and improvisation and play are really important.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we have some patterns that are generated and they are key, like you taught me, because that's one thing that it was kind of new for me. The keying, and then colorizing the keys, you can just look for colors, slices.
Yeah, and that's a really fun part of this is you turn a knob or move a slider and things happen instantly. So it's more like playing an instrument than like editing. So.
And one thing I did discover that it's that these knobs are so sensitive. You can go really slow, and then you will find some details that are amazing.
Yeah, well, and it's the kind of process that you'll find things that you never would have found if you were just trying filters or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the feedback is instantly, as you said, and man, time goes by really, really fast when you're like just tweaking,
Yeah.
and then you realize it has been 2 hours of you tweaking, I don't know, a color, right? Just love it.
Yeah. And so once it comes, so in the Hearn, what's happening is it's going into the colorizer, and then you have some additional things going into these key inputs, and then you're colorizing different luminance values and coming back out to the output.
And then I did a crazy thing.
Yeah.
I think it has been working. Then I took, because the Hearn has 3 outputs or 2 outputs.
Three. So it has a main out, an A out, and a B out. So
and then I refeed back the Hearn into itself.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of feedback, so why not?
Yeah, nice.
And then I also use the Amiga. Mm-hmm. Right now the layer is not showing, but should be around someplace, or maybe with the color. But it's also inside of this patch.
Nice. Yeah. So this is the one of Dave Jones's frame buffers. It's a different looking one. If y'all have seen any before, you usually get the big red one like back here. But this is one that was built by Alan Powell and Connie Coleman using Dave's boards back in the day when folks in the community used to get together with Dave and build tools together. And so it looks a little bit different, works the same. This is Dave's original software that he wrote for the Amiga. And it runs on this Amiga 1000 that is miraculously still working.
Yeah. I mean, this is great.
Yeah.
I've never seen, I read about these computers, but never seen them live, and for me, it's like, and see it working and mess with it, it's been like a really, really great pleasure.
Oh, great.
And I love the images. I mean, they're beautiful.
Well, even with the black and white, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Put some more brightness, you can see. Yeah, one part that surprised me is that you can like add color. Mm-hmm. I thought that it was like some sort of limitation, black and white, but actually I did a lot of images on black and white just because of this, because I really found the texture beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you can also control voltage.
So down here, there's control voltage inputs for brightness, contrast, clip, and then those are coming out of some oscillators in your rack system.
And then you can also match the image to the sound, and that is amazing. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I always start with a patch in Eurorack to get the mood going, and then I patch the video.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so from here, you said it's going back into
I send it through a down converter.
Through an up converter.
Up converter,
way.
Yeah. That should be this one.
Yeah.
And then goes there.
Yeah.
And back into the system.
Yeah, and so it's on Mac Mini 2 now, and it's going into the Maelstrom Signal Culture app, and then you can see the output of that up there. So as you change parameters live, and the Maelstrom app is changing the final output that's can be recorded over here.
It's great, and one thing it's unbelievable is that you can go to the Hearn, go to the frame buffer, tweak some stuff, then come back and tweak here. Yeah. I think I need more hands.
I know, yeah. I recently made a piece where I was using the frame buffer and oscillators, and then the frame buffer app and the Pixel Mash app, and running. Like there was a lot happening
back and forth, right? Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have folks with us? If anyone has any questions, let us know. What are you going to be working on in your last day here?
Okay, I'm trying to make something, a frame buffer into a frame buffer, like
Yeah.
continue with feedback.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll try something new with the Hearn, maybe fit the raster. I don't know. It's so much to do here.
Yeah.
And then now it's what should I do? What haven't I used? But should
Yeah.
I refine something that I already used?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just let the flow
Yeah.
dictates me where to go.
Okay.
Yeah, feels like I'm riding energy. Like
Yeah.
always, like I'm looking at these images and like surfing into magnetic fields or something.
Right? Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us.
It's my
And
pleasure.
I hope lots of people over time will see the recording of
Yeah,
this. And yeah, it's great having you.
Thanks for having me, and stay tuned with Signal Culture. This is an amazing place to be.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Oops, the other side.
Okay.
Okay.